Real-life horror stories. 1. The fifth roommate. Four of us young women were sharing a spacious two-bedroom apartment on the third floor of a building. None of us had met each other before, but an online hunt for accommodation in a metro city brought us together. It had been a month, everything was good, and we were still getting to know each other and the city. On a particular Sunday night, we all went to bed around 12:30 a.m. after a night out. Our room had two queen-size cots. In between the two cots were a small coffee table and a chair. At around 2:30 a.m. in the morning, I was abruptly awoken. I barely opened my eyes to see one of my roommates sitting on the chair with her hands on the coffee table. I was not really alarmed and casually asked her why she was up at this hour. I dozed back off to sleep before I could even hear the answer. The next morning, everybody was rushing to work since it was a Monday. I returned back home after a long day, at around 9 p.m. One of my flatmates was watching TV and the other two were still not home. After talking about our day, she surprisingly asked me who was awake last night and kept turning the lights of the living room on and off. Given my experience of the previous night, I said it must be issue as I saw her sitting awake in the middle of the night. Almost half an hour after the two of us had this conversation, the other two flatmates also reached home. While we were all eating dinner, Isha looked at me and asked me why I am always awake in the middle of the night and advised me to keep a bottle of water next to my bed. Shocked, I asked her to stop bluffing because I never wake up until I have snoozed my alarm a minimum of 3 times. I told her, "You are the one who was wide awake last night. You even disturbed the other two by fidgeting with the living room's light." Following this, I had the most creepy conversation of my life. Isha revealed that she has seen me sitting on the chair at the middle of the night multiple times, including last night. When she woke up and saw me like this, she asked what I was doing and I apparently told her that I woke up to get water. After hearing my answer, she fell asleep. We also learned that the other two roommates also got disturbed by the lights at around the same time. One of them even noticed the presence of someone passing by in the dark. But that isn't even the worst part. Isha claimed to have seen me at least twice in the same position at the same time. This was the first time I noticed her sitting on the chair. After a little investigation, we learned from the neighbors that the house had remained unoccupied for over a year, after the previous tenant passed away, followed a miscarriage. That piece of information was enough for us to believe that there was a fifth flatmate. Least to say, we all vacated the place in less than a week. The sinister fourth floor. When I was living in a hostel during my 9th and 10th grade, there were 4 floors in our hostel and we were only 25 or 27 girls. The 4th floor remained empty, with only maids visiting once a month to clean up. Previously, there had been an occasion where one very quiet and simple girl had tried to commit suicide from the 4th floor. But owing to stress, we didn't make much of it. Back then, I had the habit of waking up at around 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. and study until breakfast. My roommate, on the other hand, would stay up till 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. and wake me up before she goes to bed. On one such night, my roommate woke me up and I saw that she had gone completely pale and her eyes were a bloodshot red. I asked asked her what was wrong, and she said nothing and slept off. I thought she must have had a fight with her boyfriend and went to study. But all that time that I was studying, I kept feeling that somebody was watching me. It made me so afraid that I closed my books and went off to sleep. The next morning, I asked her what was wrong, and she curtly said, "Nothing, I got to go." After that, she kept ignoring me, and when I finally confronted her, she told me the creepiest story I have ever heard. She told me that she was studying as per usual at around 12 to 12:30-ish. The timing is creepy because the previous suicide also took place the same day. She decided to make coffee for herself, and on her way back to the room, she felt like somebody was following her. She turned around and saw me. She noticed I wasn't wearing my spectacles, or flip-flops, or the small black thread my mother tied around my hand. She didn't make much of it, but asked me, "You're up earlier than usual?" And I responded with, "Let's go to the 4th floor's balcony." She asked me why I wanted to do that, and I said it would be really fun, and that I grabbed her by her hand and took her upstairs. Once we got there, she made a few comments about the weather, and then I responded saying a simple word, "Jump." She, obviously scared and worried, couldn't believe what I was saying. And I kept insisting, "Jump, jump, jump." She claimed that I got pretty aggressive, at which point she went inside and came back to the dorm only to find me fast asleep. Her bloodshot eyes then made a lot more sense to me.